all, Stacy the Blackfeather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked Tarot and Oracle Reviews done Stacy style. And first of all, I apologize for the lighting. It's just that time of year, and this is how the lighting comes into my recording room, and today is my recording day. So please forgive me with that. Today we are going to be continuing on with my series of sign languages, where I go through all of my tarot and oracle decks and choose cards that really embody all of the different characteristics of the signs of the zodiac. And today we are doing Libra. So this is for all the Librans out there, sun, moon, and rising. And it's also for those of you who have a Libra in your life that you love. And today we are going to be starting off with the Unveiled Tarot. This is by Jesse Lonergan, and the foreword is by Mike Mignola. And when I was tapping into the Libra, and I'm a Libra rising, by the way, so I definitely can relate to this. This deck just screamed to me, don't leave me out. This, I need to be represented by, the Libra community. And I feel like a big part of that is because when we think Libra, we think fairness, justice, balance. We think beauty, the nature and the beauty of nature, the beauty of things, bringing things together to create a beautiful environment or to create a beautiful piece of art. We think relationships. Librans are all about the relationship component of things. Relationships are more important to them than just about anything else in life. And the Unveiled Tarot, on the nose for me, would not have been something that I chose for Libra. But when it was calling out to me and I just kind of sat with it, I realized, oh yeah, this is a great way to describe a Libra, because this deck in particular brings a lot of the new world, fresh world, in the moment, right now reality that Libras are always dealing with. And it gives us the balance between then and now, past wisdom versus now wisdom, or applying the wisdom into the now, past choices, cause and effect. I made a choice in the past and this is where it brought me. And so this deck is just, it's just perfect for that. So we have, a little book. I like that it's kind of like a little hardcover book. It makes me think of like, the childhood books that you used to get when you were a kid. But here we go. Let's take a peek. It's on really good cardstock. It's a sterling ethos. It's about the size of I want to say like a US Games cardstock, pretty decent quality. And I like that it is like kind of more sateen or a matte finish. Here we have the Moon card. And this is what is so visionary about this. By the way, Libras are also very visionary in a lot of ways. And this deck is extremely visionary as well. Here we are seeing the remnants of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith Moon card. And in the center of it, we've got a glimpse of the modern, a glimpse of how this is applying to now. And you see someone who is sleeping. You see someone who's sleeping in their bed. So are they dreaming about this? Is it just about nighttime energy? What are we noticing here? We have a crab or a lobster. We have two dogs, a wolf and a dog. The wolf is baying at the moon. The wolf feels like he's kind of angry about something. And you're seeing a new path, these two pillars, and there's a new path ahead. You're seeing a man in the moon, a face in the moon that's looking down and doesn't look particularly happy. So when you get into this energy and into this particular card from a Libran perspective, it's giving you the before and the after, or it's giving you the then versus now. It's giving you the essence of what this is so that you can make the decision as to where you want to go with it. Seven of Swords. I love this. We're seeing a modern depiction of someone who is swearing an oath or in a court of law, and they're about to maybe give testimony, and they're swearing, and you see what's really going on behind the scenes is this person is not being honest. Yeah, they're swearing on whatever book this is, but they've got their fingers crossed, so they're not going to tell us. They're not going to tell the truth. And Seven of Swords is a card of integrity. I feel like from a Libran perspective, this provides the this and that, the cause and effect, the black and the white, the options that we have. We're making choices. You know, Librans always get the bad rap of being wishy-washy. That's not always true, but I feel like this deck kind of helps with that wishy-washy. It's like, okay, yeah, we're going to give you two different perspectives, but it's those two different perspectives that kind of narrow it down for you so you can understand exactly how you're feeling about it. What's really happening versus what you want to happen, right? So these two in the box are not paying any attention to one another. They're checked out. Are they strangers? Are they friends? We don't know. Depends on how you feel about it. But each of them is really wanting to be in a warm embrace, maybe with one another. Maybe there's an attraction there, maybe not. So it gives you an opportunity to really kind of lean into when you pull that card. What is this card? You know, how is this card feeling for me? What is it bringing up for me? This is a deck, I feel, for Librans that are going to kind of help you make those decisions, help you to bring clarity to what you're facing. I also really love that the imagery is, I wouldn't call it minimalist, but I would say that it's very clear and concise in what it's presenting. Like you have no challenge in figuring out what's going on. This is one of my favorites. Three of Cups, the celebration the night before, but now she's having to deal with the mess. Right. And that is the kind of on the other side of a celebratory night is, you know, we live in a world of duality. There's always going to be a down where there's an up. And, you know, that's something to consider, you know, when you're going out and how do I find balance in all of that? I also think this is great from a Libra perspective because even though the imagery isn't necessarily pretty and fun and frilly and fancy free, it's very concise. And I like that it's a larger font. I like that it's not bordered. So you're just really getting the full picture. And I feel like from a Libran perspective, the full picture is important. You know, here we have a rock concert and we got a rock star and all of these people that are, you know, kind of fawning and enjoying, the zone of genius that this person is sharing. But you're also seeing back in the day, he was an emperor. Right? It's that warrior energy, that emperor energy. So just feeling a lot of connection in that regard. Queen of Swords, this is a Libra card. So here we have her all decked out. She looks absolutely beautiful. Queen on the throne. She's got a falcon on the throne here. And what we're seeing sort of in the square, or the rectangle, is we're seeing someone with a veil over her eyes. We're seeing a bit of a black and white energy through this. So how are you taking that when you're reading into it? So this deck definitely feels very much like it speaks to Libra, but it also, in the way that it approaches the messages, feels quite Libran. It's giving you the facts, just the facts, so that you can make a decision as to what you want to do with it, how you want to move forward with that information and that energy. There's a card in here with a soldier, like you're seeing someone walking, you're seeing the soldier marching, but then you're also seeing this person who has an amputated leg. And that one always kind of stands out to me as well as really being powerful, the message being powerful in terms of like cause and effect. You know, like be careful what decisions you're making. Be true to the decisions that you're making because everything has an effect on the other side of it. Okay, it's not coming up here, but anyway, this is just I feel very much that this embodies a lot of that Libran energy. The second deck that I chose for Libras here is the True Black Tarot. And one of the reasons that I was drawn to this is that it is only in darkness that we see the stars. I chose this because there's that black and white quality. There's in these cards, you'll notice right away, there's kind of a minimalist approach to the deck. You're seeing, one or two colors, but the primary is the dark and the light, the contrast of the dark and the light, which embodies that balance that is in Libra. But the imagery is gorgeous, hands down gorgeous. The card deck itself, the cardstock is velvet, like a beautiful velvet finish. It's an excellent cardstock. So very Libra in its approach in terms of making everything beautiful. making everything something that you're like, oh yes, I want to work with this deck. I want to touch this deck. I want to, become this deck. And I feel a lot of that energy. So this is an additional card, a knot, and we're seeing the baby in utero and the Ouroboros and the snake energy here. Here we have the Three of Swords. So you can see it's got more of like a minimalist approach where there are symbols in the background that I want to say kind of hit at the subconscious level. But what you're seeing outside is very pristine. It's artsy, very artistic in nature, very beautiful to look at. You lean in, you're drawn into the imagery of it. There's a lot to this as well about keeping things simple, yet incredibly, powerful in its messaging. And I feel that with, I'm a Libra rising, but even with my Libra people, my Libra friends, very beautiful approaches to life, very clear in their belief about things and wanting to make the world a better place, wanting to make the world pretty, wanting to be a beautiful addition to the world at large. And so this deck definitely, I want to say, brings that home. There are a lot of other decks that I find in my collection, I find to be beautiful decks and extremely artistic. But for the purposes of this video, this was the one that I was really drawn to, simply because there's no pretense with this deck. You're looking at the image of it, and the image is the image. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is what the creator wanted you to see and feel. And whatever you take from it, that's on you. But they've put the beauty out in the world. And I feel very much that that's a Libran thing to do. They just are. They're beautiful. They're clear in, I want to say, what they believe. They might not always be clear in how they interact in terms of relationship with that, because there tends to be in a Libra makeup, there tends to be more of a predilection to, I would say, codependency versus interdependency and people pleasing. A lot of signs can be that, but Librans especially. It's just something that Librans need to work on a little bit. But this deck, I feel, really embodies the core aspect of that Libra expression. So, and, Librans can be mad. Librans can be pissy. Librans can, lay down the law, so to speak, have those moments where, enough is enough. I've had all I can stands and I can't stands no more. And this deck really depicts that in some of the imagery as well. So yeah, that is the True Black Tarot. And I don't even know who this is by, actually. I should double check that. Let me just see who the creator is. Finely Crafted Artifacts is what it says. So yeah, very, very cool. And then the third deck that I chose for our Libras that we love is the Rumi Oracle. This is Alana Fairchild, an invitation into the heart of the divine. So I would say, more so than any other sign in the zodiac, Libras are very focused on relationship. And that is love relationship, romance, but it's also just the relationships that we have with others in our lives. And the Rumi Oracle, I chose this because this deck, I absolutely love. The imagery is stunning. It's a blue angel by Alana Fairchild. As you can see, it's bordered, but you're really getting a nice border with the contrasting imagery. Rumi, I believe, is the artist for this particular deck, and you can literally fall into the images. So very much that Libra energy of trying to create the right environment, to create a peaceful environment or a passionate environment or a safe environment or, inspired or inspiring environment. And this deck I only use when I'm doing love readings for myself, readings around different relationship issues that I'm having for myself. And so that's why I decided to go with this one, because it felt very Libra to me. When I work with this deck, all I'm drawn to is the imagery. And here we have Passion of the Wild Red Mother. So as with a lot of the Alana Fairchild decks, you can, of course, read the cards intuitively, but it's not on the nose. Like, the messages are not always on the nose about what it is. And you often have to go to the book, and the book reads like a novel, like the messages are very in depth. It's like an essay. So that's another reason why I feel that this is excellent for a Libra personality type as well, because Libras want to have all of the information before they make a decision. They want to see the bigger picture. They want to understand all the ins and outs. They want to know a person, warts and all, inside out, backwards, forwards, front and back, up and down, side to side, all the things. Look at this card, Sacred Union. And the beauty of the imagery, the colors that are used in this deck, just really, you could have this deck and not know anything about tarot and oracle, but really appreciate art, and you would get a lot out of this deck. And I feel like that's a lot of the Libra energy. They shine out in the world. Sometimes they're shining in the background. Sometimes they're shining in the forefront. No matter what their intention, people take notice. People are drawn to them. People are drawn to them because they feel that they're a safe space. They are always outward facing, presenting themselves in a way that feels good to them. Loving the luxurious linens and the wonderful fabrics, loving fabric on the skin, not being afraid to enjoy the finer things in life. And this deck is very much about that. Even the messaging, there's a channeling from Rumi in this deck. Then there's, the imagery. Then you have, sort of the essay. Then you have a way to sort of practically apply it. There's a lot of attention to the detail. There's a lot of energy that you can lean into with this deck. So this definitely, I feel, embodies a lot of, that Libra in your life wanting to work through relationship stuff with you, to make your relationship better, to bring their A game, to show you the best version of themselves, to present, the best possible version of themselves. Not that they're two-faced. It's not that. It's more about really just for themselves wanting to present themselves and to enjoy, but also wanting to be that, being agreeable with you, being able to connect. It's all about the deep connections. And this deck definitely, I want to say, helps us to connect on an intuitive level, as well as on a physical level. Like I said, whether you love this kind of thing or not, there's no denying that the artistry and the imagery is stunning. Absolutely stunning. The lover and the beloved. Yeah, this is Libra right there. This is Libra, the courage of your love. Beautiful. All right, guys. So that is our divinely decked for our signs, sign language series for Libra. I hope you enjoyed my selections. Please feel free to put it in the comments. Did you like some of these decks? Did you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Would love to strike up a conversation around that. And otherwise, guys, I am now finally able to do some membership stuff on my channel. So if you're wanting to, kind of go a little deeper, keep the conversation going, and stay connected, I would love to connect with you in those ways. Feel free to click the join button and check out the options to be able to do that. Otherwise, until I see you for another segment of Black Feather Couture Divining a VIP Life, I will say we'll see you on the flip side, and transform well. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to connect with you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content like this. And feel free to follow me on Blue Sky for even more content every single day. Can't wait to see you guys next week for another installment of Black Feather Couture, Divining the VIP Life.